good morning, and good morning again. Happy Saturday to you. Oh my gosh, listen, if you're listening to me, it means that you are a survivor today. Want to say welcome again to those of you that are joining by way of Facebook Live. Oh, thank you for your diligence. We're down to the end of another year. You've hung out with us all year. And we're very thankful for that. To those of you that are joining us by way of YouTube today, we want to say thank you as well today. And then maybe you're dialing in today, maybe your first time, and we certainly want to welcome you today as well. I want to go into how you can join us today. We're dealing with the topic that every single person is impacted by. And so maybe you want to invite someone today, and you can send them the Facebook Live handle, Dr. K.O. Williams Space Ministry, or you can invite them on YouTube if they don't have a social media presence at Dr. K.O. Williams Space Ministry. Want to tell you that this session today is a direct result of someone was struggling with a life issue, and they contacted us and said, could you provide some tools and resources? And so how that works is you can go to the bottom left, bit.ly/Real Talk Your Voice. You can send us communications there, and I promise you, we'll respond back to you. This is a 60 minutes. That's all we have. I've tried to be very studious of our time management. And so it's 60 minutes on a Saturday, 9 a.m. We try to give you some coaching series around life's issues. And we go straight in. It's straight, honest, transparent conversation. Practical tools, though, no different today. We'll give you some tools on how to go and attack the sessions, because we found it's one thing to say what, but it's another thing to say how to do it. And so we always try to give you some practical tools. Anyone can join, but keep in mind, we go hard in, and this is not for children. This is adult conversation. And then we always ask you to do a little housekeeping for us and send a shout out to us, a good morning, or hello, amen. Just let us know you're on board this ship today as we're selling. Just like this. Good morning, Mr. Flanagan, my mentor. It is always good to see you in the pews today. We have an amazing session today. We're talking about self-worth, that this concept, you are somebody. I want to tell you that one of the things that's plaguing us as individuals, this pandemic has worked on so many people, found themselves quarantined and having to depend on people. And what we found out is it worked on people's self-esteem, their self-worth. Many people now don't feel like they're good enough. Oh my gosh, I want to talk with you today. I don't want to have a whole lot of PowerPoints, but I want to give you some practical tools, and I want to have a conversation with you today around your self-worth. How do you feel about yourself? Listen, this is one of those sessions that allows you not to be selfish, but just to be personal. Oh, can I talk with you again? Because there are so many people that do not want you to focus on yourself. Keep in mind, when I do sessions like this, I'm reminded of the airline steward who gets on that plane just before you take off. And the airline steward says, in the event of an emergency, the mask will fall from the sky out of the top of the plane. And then they say, put your mask on first. There it is. If you want some inspiration for Saturday morning, you got to put your mask on first. And sometimes people are bothered by that. And I've even heard people say, oh, that's a little selfish. That's being a little too self-serving. And I say, my friend, you're no good to anyone until you're good to yourself. Oh my, it's Saturday morning and I feel good. I want to make sure that you feel good about yourself first, because we're going to talk about it in just a second. Everything you do is impacted by your self-worth. How you feel about yourself, it impacts every area of your life. Now, let's start today. We know for sure that this word self-worth, that's what we're going to talk about today. And some call it self-esteem. Two words that are the same. Listen, the University of North Carolina at Wilmington defines self-worth as the internal sense, that's the on the inside, of being good enough and worthy of love and belonging from others. Self-worth is often confused with self-esteem. And when we say self-worth, that's your ability on the inside. You see, once again, it's the ability on the inside of you to feel good about yourself and to say, here's the key word, that you are worthy. You ought to put your hand on yourself today and declare and decree that I am worthy to be loved and I am worthy to belong. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to help somebody today. So many people don't feel good enough. They always are just one notch below. And I want to talk with you today as we point our ship to the end of 2023. I want to declare and decree unto you that you were fearfully and wonderfully made by a God above. And I tell you that in and of itself qualifies you to be a person that is worthy and that is good enough. Now, this term self-worth, when you have self-esteem, listen, it relies on external factors. But when you have self-worth, it relies on internal factors. Oh, I'm talking good to somebody already, because the fact of how you feel about yourself is generated from inside of you. And I want to suggest to somebody today that on this Saturday, you ought to, what a wonderful way to start your Saturday, by declaring and decreeing to yourself that I am good enough. Who am I talking to on a Saturday morning? It doesn't matter if you're a 2-year-old kid or you're an 80-year-old adult. One thing is for sure, that you have to learn to feel good about yourself, and that you're not relying on external factors for you to feel worthy. Some people constantly struggle with feeling worthy. And I wanted to talk about what it looks like when a person feels worthy. Now, I need to tell you that when you start moving down this path, you're going to create some tension, because some people play on your deficit or your lack of being able to feel good about yourself. Sometimes people can sense it and they can tell. And guess what? They take advantage about it. Now, there are 4 types of self-worth that I'll try to go over real quickly with you, and then we'll dive a little bit deeper. The types of self-worth are low self-esteem, high self-esteem, worthiness-based self-esteem, and competence-based self-esteem. Oh my gosh, we got something for you on today. That 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 there is this notion that people play on your inability to look at yourself and say you are good enough. Good morning, Sister Ethel, all the way in Virginia on today. We're just grateful for you. We're talking about how to increase your self-worth. That is your ability to look at yourself and declare that you are good enough and that you are worthy to be loved. Oh my goodness. I want to talk with somebody today and make you to understand that you are worthy of being loved and you are worthy of being able, ready for this, to feel good enough. Because people play on that in relationships, keep you a little under the bar so that you always are chasing for that carry. Oh, we're going to talk about it today. I hope to set somebody free because there are so many that struggle with not feeling good enough. Well, I want to tell you that according to the American Psychological Association, your self-worth, listen to this, is your evaluation of yourself as a capable and valuable human being, deserving of consideration and respect. I feel just like shouting on a Saturday morning because I have had to do some evaluations of myself. I didn't get up and ask somebody else what they thought about me. I didn't get up, tell nobody to text me what they thought about me. Listen, the reality is I got up and I said to myself, listen, you are valuable. Oh, yes, my friend. And I didn't get it from no one else. I got it from an internal sense that I deserve respect. Oh, my gosh. And that I am capable and I am a valuable human being. And we oftentimes think of terms like respect and love, even consideration with regards to our relationships with others, such as our friends and our family, colleagues, even our neighbors, sometimes even our church family members. But I wanted today to pause, slow the train down, and put a quarter in the meter and talk about self-worth. Do you see the pretext is SELF? Your self-worth is a gauge of how much we respect, love, and value ourselves. Self-worth is this reflection of you and how you deserve to be respected. Who am I speaking to today? I don't care what they told you, and I don't care what they said. I don't care what they showed you. You were a human being created by God, fearfully and wonderfully made, which makes you worthy of respect, worthy of love. Yes, you deserve to be loved. And if you have people in your circle who are trying to minimize your value, I promise you, this is what you need today. Because people with positive self-worth, listen to this, tend to have a greater self-confidence and self-esteem. Having low self-worth, on the other hand, means judging yourself harshly. Quit being too hard on yourself. There's enough people around you that can do that for you. You don't need to be hard on yourself. Having a low opinion of yourself or tending to focus on one's mistakes and shortcomings. Who am I talking to? When we get up in the morning, you better know one thing: we're humans, and you're going to miss the mark somehow, some way. You're a Bible believing person. You know that Paul says we have all sinned and come short of the glory of God. Listen, the reality is we all blow it. We all miss the mark. From the front door of the church to the back door of the church. I don't care who you are. The reality is none of us are perfect. And in that statement alone, quit being so hard on yourself, because there's enough of that to go around without you doing it to yourself. And focusing on your shortcomings. You know, I try to encourage people all the time. Find that one thing that you love and that you love to do. Now, when you find it, it's called a passion. But even in having a passion, sometimes we fall short of making the bullseye. And all I'm telling you is that you are worthy. And don't allow people to have you to reduce how you feel about yourself. Don't allow people to have you feeling like you judging yourself too hard. My friend, even the teacher has to be taught sometimes. Oh, don't fool yourself now. We are all a work in progress. There it is right there. That no matter who you are, that there is something that we can all improve on. But it does not mean that you sit around and dwell on your mistakes, or sit around and talk about what you don't have and how you're not as good as you should be. I tend to focus on my strengths. Well, I may be short in this, but I have great strengths in these. It's important to have self-worth because it impacts everything you do. Listen, from your relationships to how you work, how you feel about yourself, and how others view you. I'm here today to submit to you that this is a non-negotiable topic, that you, no matter who you are and where you are in your career, you deserve to be loved, to be respected, and to be valued. You are good enough, and you're worthy of that. Now, there's some that when you start talking like that, they got an attitude with you. We're going to go down through there in just a second. I want to give a quick shout out to Minister Smith over in Winston-Salem. God bless you today. To Sister Thelma Carter, all the way in Warrenton, North Carolina. God bless you, dear. And to my wonderful daughter, Charity, I'm praying with you today. And yes, you are good enough, Charity. You are worthy to be loved. And the thing about it is, when you understand your worth, it bothers people because it becomes an internal self-defense. Can I talk with you for a second? I tell people that there are some things that you can't hide. And when people realize that you know your value and your worth, I told someone in the workspace, listen to this. I said it was time for me to make a shift. And then they said, I couldn't believe that he chose to make a shift. They said to me, what are we going to do? And I said, oh, you'll be just fine. And do you know, I found out through another colleague that they were complaining to them that I left. And then guess what my colleague says? Y'all ready? Well, maybe he finally found out his self-worth. Translated, maybe you weren't giving him the value, respect, and consideration that he knew he was worthy of. Ooh, let me talk to somebody on a Saturday morning. When you know who you are, when you know what you're worth, and when you know what your value is, you are unwilling to allow someone to treat you less than what you know you deserve. I want to talk right into the camera today and tell somebody that you are worthy and that you deserve to have respect. And listen, if you can't give it to me, there's a song by the Angelics, uh, uh, Don't Try to Stop Me. Move on out of my way, they say, and don't try to block me. They say, I got a race to run, and I'm running by faith. And at the finish line, I'm going to see his face. I came on a Saturday morning to declare and decree unto you that you are somebody and that you were fearfully and wonderfully made, and it's their problem if they don't see your worth. Yes, I said it, and I'll say it again. It's their problem if they don't see your worth and how much you're valued. I come on this Saturday morning to tell you, as God's messenger, that you were created by God and that you are somebody. Minister Alice Stroud, you know, it's always good to see you today. I want to move on because I've got some skills that I want to help somebody today that you can start practicing even on the broadcast today, because somebody today needs to understand that you are God's ambassador, that you are God's representative, and that alone makes you somebody. I am somebody. Listen, today you need to put your hand on yourself and decree and declare that I am somebody. Yes. Now let's talk for a moment around this concept of self-worth. That means you are somebody. Now, when I think about self-worth, I want you to know that there are some things that influence your self-worth. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty today. Now, self-worth is dependent upon your reflection. It's subjective. Oh, and it can fluctuate based on many variables. What that simply means is sometimes you find people, they're up today and down tomorrow and happy one day and sad the next. But this scholar, a psychologist, Romanoff, says that these things can be influenced. And according to Dr. Romanoff, these are some factors that may influence your self-worth. In other words, you need to have some core values. For example, trust, confidence, strength. What are your core values that define you? Do you know that your thoughts here can determine your self-worth? Somebody can get in your psyche, get in your head, drop little negative thoughts. You sure about that? Are you sure you want to do that? Yes, I'm sure. And if I make a mistake, I'll just pick myself up, brush myself off, and go again, because I have come to discover, my friends, I want to bless somebody real good. Donnie McClurkin says, we fall down, but we get back up. And he goes further, the songwriter, and says, the only difference between a saint and a sinner is that the saint fell down, but he got back up again. I want to bless somebody today that your thoughts and the way you feel, even when you don't make the mark or you don't get the right outcome, those things determine your self-worth if you're not careful. Your emotions and mental well-being, like there are things you should work on internally in your mind to tell you that you are good enough. These things influence your self-worth. Oh my gosh, here's a big one. Excuse me. Relationships, past and present, because there's nothing any worse, my friend, than trying to be in a relationship with someone who don't even think they're good enough. And then they come and try to impose their lack of self-worth on you. Am I talking good to anybody today? The reality is that's their challenge. And if you're not real careful, being in a relationship with them, they will try to pass that over onto you. Or how about this one? You're somebody trying to step to you in a relationship. Listen, they don't have it all together, and they themselves realize they don't have good self-esteem, good self-worth, but you do, and it becomes tension in the relationship because they don't have it and you do have it. And so every time you turn around, they got something negative to say, something condescending, something pulling you down, and something trying to highlight some issue in the a relationship or in a person's character. My friend, I tell people, hear me good when I say relationships are like elevators. The people in the relationship will take you up or they'll take you down. And you have to know your own self-worth. Don't allow somebody else's negative self-worth to bring your positive self-worth down. Listen, get out of my way. Listen, move on out of my way. I got a race to run and I'm trying to run by faith. And if you ain't trying to go, I just see you when I see you. Oh, let me talk good to somebody. Now, you do know when you put on your positive self-worth hat, sometimes people get your confidence mixed up with their being cocky. I've had to put some people in their place in relationships because I say to them, I will not take on your negative self-worth. I know who I am, and let me help you right here. The buck stops here. I don't want it. I didn't ask for it, and I'm not going to receive it. I said it, and I'll say it again. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I didn't sign up for it, and I'm not fit to take it. So you have to determine your self-worth. Also, your health and your physical fitness. I'm thankful we're moving into an era now where the old model of a slim, petite model on the cover pages, those days are gone now. And people have finally realized that the thick sister brings some value to the conversation. And so holler out to the thick sisters on the call, or the thick brothers on the call, because what we found out finally is that you can be slim and still not have self-worth, or you can be a little plump and still have some self-worth. Am I talking good to anybody today? The reality is, I may have to work on my physical fitness, but let me help you real good. It does not reduce how I feel about myself. Your career and your profession, these things help weigh in on your ability to feel good about yourself. And this is a good place for me to tell somebody, Dr. Martin Luther King made a profound statement during his push for equality and social justice when he went down to Alabama and took on the sanitation workers. Everybody was saying, why is he fighting for those garbage truck workers? And then he made the so famous statement, and it's a good place for me to say it here. I don't care what kind of career you have. He said, if you're going to be a sanitation worker, be the best sanitation worker they ever have been. And listen, let me help somebody today. What he was saying was, master yourself no matter where you are. Be the best you can be. I'm going to ask you this morning, are you your best self? Do you feel the best about yourself in the career that you're doing right now? Because can I tell you, my career doesn't define me, but I define my career. Oh, there it is right there. I want to tell you something right now. And so whether it means being a garbage truck worker or being a pastor in the pulpit, I want to tell you that you inform the career, and the career doesn't inform you, because if the career informs you, you'll be up and down, in and out, stopping and going. But when you know who you are and you know whose you are, you'll take whatever career you have or whatever profession you have, and you'll be the best you that you can possibly be. I want to tell you, your community and social status, sometimes people stray away from people because you don't have the the influential name in the community like some do. And I tell you, the best name you can have is that you are part of the family of God. Am I talking good to anybody on today? Yes, you may have a natural family name, and it may be good down at the courthouse, and may be good down at the bank. But I want to tell you something, my friend. Those things don't mean nothing when you meet a man named Jesus. You are wanting to have some self-worth when you can say to someone, I am a part of the family of God. I'm a part of the kingdom of God. And that means I got brothers and sisters everywhere. I got to move on. But I tell you right now, as you can see, there are so many ways that can influence your self-worth. Today, do me a favor again and put your hand on yourself and declare and decree that I am somebody and that I am worthy. Good morning, Sister Janie, all the way up in the Maryland, Baltimore area. It is awesome to have you joining with us today. And I'm telling you, we're talking about your ability to feel good about yourself. Reverend Black, you know you're my friend. It's always good to see you, man of God. I come to say to you, stay on the wall, keep working for God, because you are somebody, and there is self-worth that resides deep on the inside of you. Today, I want to tell you, as God's ambassador, you are somebody. The enemy, your haters, all those terrible people would love for you to wallow in a mistake, to wallow in a bad decision. I don't care what it is. The reality is that God is able to pick you up, turn you around, and then place your feet on some solid ground. I don't know who I'm talking to today, but you need to know that. Yeah. Good morning, Sister Judith, all the way up in Virginia. It is also great to see you today. I want to tell you today that you are somebody. Now, here's a couple of ways to gauge your self-worth. I want to give you some tools today. If you're trying to gauge where am I on the scale with my self-worth, there's a couple of questions that I'm going to actually do you a favor today. And I'm going to put these in the chat, and hopefully they will stay there and you all can glean from that. Yes, I see them there. All right, so let's talk about how do you gauge self-worth. There's a couple of questions that you want to ask yourself. Number one, how much do you like, respect, and value yourself? On a scale of 1 to 10, would you say that you like yourself? Is it a 10 or is it a 1? If you said, Dr. Williams, I like myself on a scale of 10, then I would say to you, congratulations. If you say that you respect yourself a 1 or 2, I got some resource tools to help you to bring that number up, because the bottom line is you are valuable. And you should know that when you ask yourself, how much do you value yourself? That number should be a minimum of a 6. If it's under 6, you should say, I've got some homework to work on my self-worth. The scholars say that the very minimum it should be a 6. But if you have a 10, then at least you should say that I have enough to try to help somebody else. I submit to you that you should also ask yourself, which words would you use to describe yourself to a stranger? Oh my goodness, that's a real good one. If you had to describe yourself to a stranger, what kind of words would you use? Would you use words like confident? Would you use words like dependable? Would you use words like intelligent? Would you use words like friendly? Would you use words like stable? Would you use words like understanding? Do you see what's happening? I want to ask you today, if you had to describe yourself to a stranger, what kind of words would you use? Would you have your head down? Would you be looking away? Or would you look at the stranger and give them some words that say you have value about yourself? I don't know who I'm talking to today, but if you have been trying to grapple or fight with feeling worthy, I want to tell you today that there are some ways that you can start that process. I would go to the dictionary.com. When you go to dictionary.com, there's another tab called a thesaurus. And in that thesaurus, just put in a word, and then it gives you all these words that are similar to that same word. I practice that all the time because what I want to do is to make sure that I tell myself, you are somebody. Sister Denise Fonville, good morning. Always good to see you today. I want to thank you, Sister Ethel, for responding. That you have put in that you are a 10. How many other 10s do I have on the call today? Now, I want to celebrate you. But now, if you say, Williams, I'm not a 10, what I want to do is to slow the train down enough to give you some tools to move you from a 1 to at least a 6. Because at the end of the day, you deserve to feel good about yourself. And these negative influences all around you, listen, you'd be surprised at the haters. They fine as long as you don't feel good about yourself. I think, thank you, Sister Judith, all the way up in the Richmond area. Got some 10s popping off. How many other 10s do I have? You feel good about yourself. You feel that you deserve to be loved. You feel that you deserve to be respected. You feel that you are worthy to belong. I know that today you deserve to be loved. There is not a person who doesn't deserve to be loved. And I'm telling you right now, it starts with an affirmation that I am a 10. My gosh, when you talk to yourself like that, it does something about your value on yourself. You deserve to be valued. You deserve to be respected. And I don't care what they're saying, and I don't care what kind of relationship you're in. If they're not respecting you, you ought to give them an option. Either get off the pot or either use it. Excuse me, I told you this conversation is for grown folks. And I'm telling you right now, I ain't taking no secondhand respect. Hear me when I tell you, I ain't taking no secondhand love, and I ain't taking no secondhand consideration. If you don't put me, I just talked to a lady and she says, I'm in this relationship with this man. The man got children. He has ex-wife, and she say that in this relationship, I want to get right in the camera when I said, she said, he has never made me feel like I am first. And I said to her, honey, let me help you real good. Do you know the number of men out here, number one, that's looking for a good woman? Oh, I'm trying to help you real good. Why would you allow yourself to be made to feel like you're not number one, like you don't deserve a 10? And I said to her, and if they won't do it, you ought to make your mind up that you will be good to yourself. What she said, what do you mean? I said, let me help you real good. You deserve to feel good. Take yourself to dinner. Y'all gonna make me get happy on a Saturday morning. I said to her, listen, buy yourself some roses, because what you saying to yourself is, I am somebody and that I deserve to be loved. Yes, listen, I say send yourself a card in the mail. Y'all ain't gonna talk good to me today, but I'm trying to help somebody. When you learn to take care of yourself, listen, people get bothered by that because they say, listen, she all of a sudden it's all about her. No, it's not all about me, but I want to make sure I take care of me also. And yes, Sister Judith, I do agree. Sometimes, y'all, can I help you real good? I take myself shopping. I don't need nobody. I just go get right in my vehicle. I go to my favorite store and I come out of there with something. And I feel good about myself. Why do I say that? It's because I do bless people. I do help people. But every now and then, you have to bless yourself. I'm trying to help somebody. To the lady that's in that relationship, and you don't feel like you're 10, I help you today and declare and decree unto you that you don't have to accept that as the norm. Don't you allow yourself to be reduced in your value for yourself. Now, listen, there's a couple other questions that you say. Number one, how much do you value, respect, and love yourself? Number two, if you had to express yourself or describe yourself to a stranger, you ought to do it sometime. Find a friend and say, hey, listen, I just called to describe myself to you. Most people would be so shocked because we're so used to talking about somebody else. We're not used to trying to say how much I am. Now, listen, number three, when you self-reflect, think about yourself. Are your thoughts generally positive, negative, or somewhere in between? Now, I want to tell you that we all should self-reflect, and your thoughts should be balanced. Let me qualify that. Don't be so naive to think that you don't have areas that you can't clean up. Yeah, I want to talk about that for a moment, because the truth of the matter is, just because I have areas that I need to improve doesn't mean that I don't deserve to be loved. You know, I had to tell somebody that just recently in a conversation. I said, I'm a pastor, yes, and I'm a leader, yes, but there's some areas that I can improve on. Am I talking good to anyone today? The reality is, I'm not in a false world where I act like I don't have anything I can improve on. We told you in the very beginning that we have all sinned and come short of God's glory. So we all have areas that we can improve on. But when I think about Lamont Williams, are my thoughts positive? Are my thoughts negative? Or are they somewhere in between? You should see some balance in your reflection. Yes, you should be able to say, you know what? I'm not where I used to be. I'm so happy about that. And no, I'm not where I need to be. But there was an old song in the Negro spirituals that says, please be patient with me because God is not through with me yet. And it goes on further to say that, but when God gets through with me, I shall come forth as pure gold. Is there anybody in a pursuit to come forth as pure gold? In that process, you are a work in progress. And so you should think about yourself in a positive way. My time is running out. I'm trying to get as much of it in as possible, but I want to talk good to somebody today. You ought to get right in that mirror, look straight in that mirror, and that image that you see in that mirror, you ought to declare and to decree that you are somebody with your handsome looking self. Listen, with your good smelling, good talking self. Yes, I have to talk to this image here because I tell you what, they some naysayers out there. They'll drop their little 2 cents. And if we go around listening to other folks, we always have our head down. We always have our eyes closed. But I came today to tell you, you got an assignment on today. Get in that mirror and speak to that image that you see in the mirror and give that image some positive reflections. That's number three. You ought to reflect on yourself. And then the fourth question that you should ask is, do you believe you are worthy of others' love, respect, and consideration? And so what that is saying to you is that not only do I feel good that I should be loved, but also that I'm good enough for my family to love me too. Who am I speaking to today? I'm good enough for my coworkers to love me too. In other words, you don't deserve for your family to treat you like trash. Who am I speaking to? I'm speaking directly to you today, and I'm declaring and decreeing that you are worthy. And your family doesn't have the right to treat you like trash. Your coworkers, you deserve what we call work etiquette. Work etiquette. Yes, I want to talk about work etiquette as well. You deserve to go to a place and work without fear of harassment, fear of retaliation, fear of discrimination. The federal government has set some laws in place that guarantee you certain feelings and rights when you go to work. Do you believe you are worthy of others' love, respect, and consideration? And I want to tell you today that when you go to church, let me help you today, that you deserve for your church members to show love to you as well. It's not right and it's not God's will for you to go to the house of worship and somebody show they behind in God's house instead of showing you the love of God. Am I talking to anybody today? Don't you allow someone in a church to treat you less than what you know God has called you to be. And I need to tell you that it's called the spirit of offense. I call it out. Yes, I do. And I put it on notice that this is not God. No, I come to tell you that you can't call yourself no saint and be in God's house and showing your behind. I want to talk to somebody today that you've been in that shoe and folks have made you to feel like that's what you deserve. I don't care if you didn't do. I don't care if you didn't say. I don't care if you weren't there. So what if you missed the event? So what if you didn't do what you were supposed to do? The house of God is where we should make people feel like they belong, like they're valued, and they are respected. God bless you, Sister Deborah. You know, I've been waiting to see you. It's always good to see you in Greensboro, North Carolina. I stopped by today. We're going down and dirty, talking about the fact that you are somebody and that you are God's creation. And let me help you real good. And when you got somebody that's trying to show you that you're not worthy and that you don't deserve, I curse that spirit and I call it out. And let me help you real good. The next time I want to tell you, they'll be your champion because they'll run and tell somebody else, don't fool with that clown. Well, I tell you what, you can call me whatever you like, but just don't bring me no negativity because I ain't going to receive it because I know I am fearfully and wonderfully made. When you know who you are and whose you are, you ain't taking no trash off folks who ain't got their stuff together. Yes, I said it and I'll say it again. From the pulpit to the back door, don't bring me your trash because the reality is I know who I am and I know whose I am. I belong to God and I am his child. And let me help you real good. That means I'm a part of the family of God. And because you part of the family of God, that means you are somebody that you ought to have some self-worth. I got about another 10 minutes. I'm trying to make the best of my time today, but I'm on assignment by God to help somebody today to get your head up, get it out of your lap, take it out of your hand, hold your head up high and declare and decree that you are somebody. Do you know I have learned this from my late pastor? He said these words, you got some homework today. I want you to try this. The importance of self-worth. Listen, it's hard to hold your head up and look down at the same time. The first step in self-worth is get your head up. Yes, I said it. And I'm going to say it again with a little bit of time I have left. Some of these clowns, yes, I call them clowns because they ain't nothing but a joke. They're sitting around trying to play on your lack of self-worth. And one of the first signs of lack of self-worth is when your head is down. And I declare today, get your head up. Hold your head up high. Take your hand and lift your head up. Because when you lift your head up, try it. You can't see the ground when you hold your head up. Try it, my friend. You got some homework. You can't see your feet down there when you got your head up. And part of the challenge is your naysayers, your haters, they try to take advantage of the fact that you are showing them some signs that you are lacking in self-worth. Number one, get your head up. Hold your head up high. David in Psalms 121, you read it in your free time. He said, I will lift up mine eyes to the hills from which cometh my help. My friend, you can't look down at your problem and look up at God at the same time. That's what I'm really trying to tell you. And when you know that your source is God, you lift your head up. And I promise you, those little problems down there by your feet, he can handle every last one of them. Am I talking good to anybody today? If you can't take nothing else, get your head up. Hold your head up. I want to talk to somebody today and tell you that you deserve to have your head lifted up. Psalms 121 is real clear. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills from which cometh my help. My help don't come from these haters. My help don't come from the naysayers. My help don't come from folk that don't respect me. My help does not come from folk who don't value me. But my help comes from the Lord. So get your head up. I want to help somebody today on this Saturday morning that God wants you to know that you are somebody and that you ought to hold your head up. My time is just about out, but I got to just give you one more thing to tell you that there are some benefits from having positive self-worth. Folks with high self-worth carry themselves in a sense of confidence. That's what it says when your head is up. And people have even told me, why he got his head so high? It's because I know who I am and I know whose I am. And then while they are aware of areas in which they can improve, that's me, they don't let their shortcomings define their identity. That's me again. They are not afraid to pursue opportunities and have reasonable faith in their ability to deliver. And so nothing beats a failure but a try. That's the benefit of self-worth, is that you will never get anywhere and you will never discover your deepest dreams unless you're willing to take risks. My friend, people with great self-worth don't mind taking risks. That's why some people will never be in a good relationship, because they're scared to take a risk. You don't deserve to be mistreated. You don't deserve to be disrespected. And sometimes you got to step away from that foolishness and take a risk about somebody that's out there that's actually designed to treat you like you somebody. Self-worth also plays an important role in relationship dynamics. For example, if someone is treated poorly, their self-worth will likely have large impacts on their interpretations on events. Someone with low self-worth may blame themselves, whereas a person with a healthy self-worth may not consider themselves deserving of the mistreatment. There it is right there. I got to close on that one. But let me tell you right now, the difference between somebody having good self-worth and those who don't have good self-worth is you say to yourself, I ain't taking that trash off of you. And you know what? The reality is, before I take it off of you, I'll be by myself. Yes, I said it, and I'll say it again. Too many good, solid people have low self-esteem. They have low self-worth of themselves. And these people who are predators, they prey on people who have low self-worth. And I'm telling you right now, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. You know why? Because you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I tell you right now, you don't deserve to be mistreated. And I told somebody, oh, my goddaughter, Sister Carmen Canty is on the line. I love you so much, and I miss you. My god brother, Joseph Nance Jr., God bless you. Listen, I want to close with this thought right here. I hope this bless somebody today. And maybe you can take this and put it on an index card. I am not your trash can. I've had to tell people that. They say, what do you mean I'm not your trash? Don't bring me your trash. Yes, I said it. And I stopped them right in their tracks, because here's what you're declaring and decreeing. I don't want your negativity. I absolutely do not need your negativity. And listen, I won't receive your negativity. Now, when you set those boundaries like that, what you will find real fast is those trash toters will have to take their trash somewhere else. Oh, I got to close on a Saturday, but I want to tell somebody, you ought to write down, I am not your trash can. Don't bring me your trash. Why? Because I am somebody. And the fact that I'm somebody means that I deserve, I'm worthy of it, and I'm considering of it. I want to close today. My time is up. We'll try to go a little bit further in this session here on next time, that you are somebody and that you have self-worth. Now, You have one more homework assignment, that when you get up in the morning, you need some self affirmations. That when I get up in the morning, one of the reasons why I have such strong confidence and self worth is because I tell myself 3 things every morning. And I'll tell you this, and may it bless you, and then we'll pray. Number one, I tell myself, I am somebody. I don't need to go to church. I don't need nobody to prophesy to me. I don't need nobody to send me no post on Facebook. I say to myself in the morning, Williams, you are somebody. Not because somebody else says so, but because God says so. And I'm standing on his word. I tell myself in the morning that nothing that happens to me today, God will be surprised by it. Romans 8:28 says, and we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and who are the called according to his purpose. And then thirdly, I tell myself that whatever happens today, it's in God's plan. I love you today. I have to close now. My time is up, but I want you to find 3 affirmations and tell yourself one of those 3 should be that I am somebody. Can I pray with you today? Find somebody today. Call them up and say, I want to describe myself to you. They're going to be so shocked because they're not used to people speaking positive about themselves. Give them 2 or 3 things to let them know, I got some self-worth about myself. And you will find that your self-worth will go from on the 1 to 2 all the way over to the 6 to the 10. My prayer is that God would move you over to a 10. It's God's good will and pleasure for you to feel good about yourself. Shall we pray? Father, thank you for time well spent today. We give you praise even now, Father, how you have been good to us. You have spoken and given us knowledge and wisdom to hold our heads up and to be confident that we are your children. We speak now against those strongholds, those demonic influences that will try to influence us in a negative way. We ask today, Father, that you would even strengthen us to be able to declare and to decree what your word already says that we are. Until next time, Father, we ask that your blessings be on these, your people. In Jesus' name, amen. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you. May God be gracious unto you, and may he give you peace until we meet again. Remember, self-worth. You are somebody. God bless you.